The DNC has become a stronghold of Satan, the headquarters from which he wages his war against the United States. Not so hidden in the DNC logo is the Satanic pentagram. Had they left the star a solid white, it would have been nothing more than your traditional star as seen on many political banners. The DNC supports abortion, the slaughter of babies, the sacrifice of their innocent lives upon the altars of Baal. The Democratic platform opposes all federal and state laws that prohibit or restrict abortion. The party platform supports taxpayer funding of Planned Parenthood, the temple of Satan, thus forcing you, the American taxpayer, to participate in the sacrificing of preborn children upon the altars of Baal. The DNC supports the repeal of the Hyde Amendment, which prohibits federal funds from being used for abortion services overseas, once again forcing you, the American taxpayer, to participate in the sacrificing of preborn children upon the altars of Baal. Satan and his demons feed off of the shedding of innocent blood. As long as abortion remains legal in the United States, every abortion strengthens Satan's grip on our country. As long as abortion remains legal, we, the people of the United States, are responsible for each life taken in this horrific manner. As Christians, we are called to deliver those that are being led to death and to save those that are being held to be killed. Proverbs 24:11. Ezekiel tells us in chapter 33 that if we do not sound the warning, their blood shall be upon our heads. The DNC supports medically accurate LGBT-inclusive, age-appropriate sex education. As Christians, we should not be comfortable with our children and grandchildren from pre-K through 12th grade being taught LGBTQ sexual behaviors. Young children who have not yet reached important milestones in their understanding will be harmed emotionally, as these children, whose concept of love doesn't even include traditional sexuality and marriage, will have their tender minds left confused and their innocence violated. It would be better to be thrown into the sea with a millstone hung around your neck than to cause one of these little ones to fall into sin, Luke 17:2. Materials being used in the schools have been developed by the LGBTQ movement and encourage children to celebrate and explore LGBTQ relationships and lifestyles. In Leviticus 18:22, God calls these unbiblical lifestyles and practices an abomination. The LGBTQ lifestyle is ultimately destructive to a society as well as the lives of those involved. Sex is a gift from God to be enjoyed within the bonds of marriage between one man and one woman, and is God's plan for the creation of future generations. Therefore a man shall leave his father and his mother and hold fast to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. Genesis 2:24. Biblical marriage is a picture of Christ and his church. He has given himself so that he can present the church as his radiant bride, unstained, unwrinkled, and unblemished, completely free from all impurity, holy and innocent before him. Ephesians 5:27. Christ, through his church, brings forth new spiritual children, just as a husband and his wife bring forth natural children. Homosexual marriage makes a mockery of the image of Christ and his bride, and is barren, and instead of new life brings forth death. The DNC opposes broad religious exemptions to allow businesses, medical providers, social service agencies, and others to discriminate according to sexual orientation and religious beliefs in hiring practices. Without religious exemptions, Christian schools could be forced to hire openly LGBTQ teachers, churches could be forced to hire openly LGBTQ ministers, or made to allow openly LGBTQ persons to teach Sunday school to children and youth. Doctors, nurses, and pharmacists could be forced to provide abortions, abortifacients, gender reassignment surgery, assisted suicide, etc., even though it violates their conscience or beliefs. Christian adoption agencies will be forced to place children into LGBTQ homes or into families that are openly hostile to Christianity. Privately owned businesses may be forced to participate in activities that go against their religious convictions. It is time now for all people of faith to come out from the darkness of the DNC and into the light of allegiance to the King of Kings, Jesus Christ. Let him form our political views, and his word be our moral standard. Come out of the stronghold of Satan, for has not God said, "Do not try to work together as equals with unbelievers, for it cannot be done. How can right and wrong be partners? How can light and darkness live together? How can Christ and the devil agree? What does a believer have in common with an unbeliever? How can God's temple come to terms with pagan idols? For we are the temple of the living God. As God himself has said, I will make my home with my people and live among them. I will be their God, and they shall be my people. And so the Lord says, you must leave them and separate yourselves from them. Have nothing to do with that which is unclean, and I will accept you. 2 Corinthians 6:14-17.